Hello everyone, and welcome to Stitching Ain't Easy. My name is Ashley. Thank you so very much for joining me today. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for coming by and taking a chance of all things moving in a stitch. If you've been here before, I hope you know how much I appreciate you and how much you mean, and thank you for coming back to listen. So today, like I mentioned and like it says in the title, right? I'm going to be doing the hashtag movie and stitch. Today I'm going to be discussing the F movie that we watched, showing my project, and discussing the G movie that we're going to watch. This is a collab that a lot of us ladies, and possibly gents, I'm sure, here on YouTube are doing. It was started by Terry over at Yarn Joy Podcast, and it started out with 4 ladies, and everyone kind of came along, and it's a lot of fun to watch everyone's videos and see everyone's projects and the movies that they're watching. It's been really neat. So what we're doing is we're watching movies the whole year from the letter A all the way through the letter Z, the whole entire alphabet. And if you would like to watch other videos other than this one, although I'm sure you've watched more than just this one, maybe not. The title of this, the hashtag movie and stitch, should be lit up. Excuse me. And you can just click it, and Miss Ella over at No Catchy Name created a playlist, and so everyone's videos will be right there, and you can catch up, binge watch. It'll be fun. So like I said, I know also a lot of ladies are making projects and watching movies and not making videos. Obviously, you know, not everyone's has a YouTube channel. Also, there are YouTube ladies that are doing this that aren't making things, but it's really neat, just like listening to the different movies and different things that everyone has. So okay, so I got a little more techie this time. I got the laptop out because this movie has so many cool things and trivia, like fun facts and all that, so had to get out the laptop. Very profesh, just saying. So okay, so this is our blanket so far. I'll just go ahead and show you, and then we'll discuss the movie, and then I'll go back to what I did. How's that? Okay, fun? Okay, fun. Here is our blanket so far. And the black is I'm just using it as a kind of a neutral color, an in-between color, and I'm doing 4 for each movie, and then this is like our divider line between the movies, so A, B, C, that sort of thing. We'll discuss this more in a minute though. Okay, I'm gonna put it over my lap. It's warm enough, or big enough to be warm now. Okay, so for our F movie, we watched Forrest Gump, because what else are you going to watch other than Forrest Gump? Obviously. Okay, so the movie was released on July 6th, 1994. It is rated PG-13. It is 2 hours and 2 minutes long, I believe is what it says. I'm already off. I knew I was going to have to know that, and then I need to know that. 2 hours and 22 minutes long, so almost 2.5 hours. Okay. It is a drama romance. The budget for this film was $55 million. Opening weekend, it grossed $24 million. In the U.S., like total, it grossed $330 million. Worldwide, $678 million. So it did pretty good for itself. Per usual Tom Hanks films, right? Oh, spoiler alert, Tom Hanks is in it. Although I feel like for this one, there's probably not a lot of spoiler alerts. I mean, it's 1994, surely everyone's seen it. If not, go watch it. It's worth it. It's a good one. Although it's not free anywhere. I need to mention that before we get too into the movie. It's not free anywhere. I'm pretty sure we rented it for $2.99 on Amazon, I think is where we found it. Not sure why it's not free to stream. Okay, so Some of the actors in this movie are Tom Hanks, Gary Sinise, Sally Field. There are a whole bunch more. We will get into them. That's who I wrote down. Like I said, I started writing things down and then quickly realized that was silly. So, okay. So this movie, I didn't know this. Some of you probably do. It was based on the 1986 novel of the same name written by Winston Groom. So if you like to read, there you go. Okay, so the movie is obviously about Forrest. It opens on a park bench, and Forrest is telling the story of his life. Okay, so Forrest Gump is a simple man with a low IQ but good intentions. He is running through, childhood with his best and only friend, Jenny. His mama teaches him the ways of life and leaves him to choose his destiny. Forrest joins the army for service in Vietnam, finding new friends called Dan and Bubba. He wins medals. He creates a famous shrimp fishing fleet. He inspires people to jog. He starts a ping pong craze. He creates the smiley face, like the smiley on a shirt. He writes bumper stickers and songs. This is off of IMDb. Let's see. He donates to people and meets the president several times. However, this is all irrelevant to Forrest, who can only think of his childhood sweetheart, Jenny, who has messed up her life, although in the end all he wants is to prove that anyone can love anyone. So it's a really good story. Forrest for sure has quite the adventures. I like stories with adventure. I like Big Fish, just, tells the whole way through it. So yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen it. He sits on the park bench and tells the story of his whole entire life, and while he's sitting on this park bench, his plan is to go and see Jenny. It's a good 20-some years after, they've seen one another. Well, not that long, I guess. It's a good 5 years after they've seen one another, but anyway, they see each other throughout, and it's been a little bit since they've seen one another, and Forrest is going to see her. So he's telling the story through a random passersby that sat on the bench while waiting for the bus. Okay, so let's see. Some of the trivia for this movie, because that's always fun, is that it won 6 Oscars. It was up for a lot of awards, but it won 6 Oscars. This was the only film This is the only film in which Tom Hanks won an acting Oscar for his performance in a film, and that also won Best Picture. Tom Hanks was not paid for this film. Instead, he took percentage points, which ultimately netted him in the region of $40 million. $40 million. Good job, Tom Hanks. Didn't know if you guys knew this. There's Bubba Gump restaurants, and so I'm sure through all of that, even in the licensing, I don't know what I'm trying to say. The licensing of the film, there's so many things. Good job, Tom Hanks. Good call, by the way. He's probably glad he didn't do that for, like, Splash. Although that's a classic, but he wouldn't have made as much. He must have known something big was coming. Okay. So. Let's see. While I'm waiting on the trivia to load, the line, "My name's Forrest Gump," was improvised by Tom Hanks. It was not supposed to be in the movie. He said it, and then the director liked it, and so it stayed part of the thing. Just so you know. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one's kind of cool. Alright, so when Forrest gets up to talk at the Vietnam rally in Washington, okay, the Washington Monument, the microphone plug is pulled and you cannot hear him. According to Tom Hanks, what he says as they pull the plug and you can't hear him and everyone's, fussing to get everything plugged back in. Okay, so according to Tom Hanks, what he said was, Sometimes when people go to Vietnam, they come home to their mamas without any legs. Sometimes they don't come home at all. That's a bad thing. And that's all I have to say about that. Ooh, okay. It's true, but that's sad. Alright, so let's see. I told the one about how he didn't get paid and about his name. Okay, when Forrest learns to play ping pong in the infirmary whenever he's wounded during the war, he's told that the trick to ping pong is to keep his eye on the ball at all times by another soldier. After that moment, whenever he is shown playing ping pong, he never blinks. So the whole time, which, I mean, if you think about it, I remember seeing that, I suppose. Okay, so there were a lot of good ones, but now, of course, I can't find them because, you know how it goes. Excuse me. Okay, this is one of them that I wanted to read to you guys, but I didn't want to write. Okay, so Bill Murray, John Travolta, and Chevy Chase. Just let that soak into your brain for a second. Bill Murray, John Travolta, and Chevy Chase all turned down the role of Forrest Gump. They turned it down. Travolta later admitted that passing on the role was a mistake. You think? Okay, Bill Paxton was one of the director's initial first choices for the role, but the studio demanded somebody with more star power. The novel's author, Winston Groom, had envisioned John Goodman as Gump. Yeah, John Goodman. I mean, this is one of those movies that I don't know if I could see anyone but Tom Hanks being Forrest Gump. That just... John Goodman. And John Travolta. Alright, anyway. Okay. Okay, this one's good because I remember my husband and I discussed this. I remember this was like all the rage whenever this movie came out. It was like people thought that Gary Sinise didn't have legs. Okay, because Lieutenant Dan loses his legs in the war. Spoiler alert. Also, I feel like surely it's not a spoiler alert, but anyway, he loses his legs. So I remember a lot of people thinking that he didn't. My husband and I discussed that, like he knew people that thought that he didn't have legs. And I'm like, it's Gary Sinise. Yes, he has legs. And anyways, okay. So Gary Sinise's lower legs were wrapped in a special blue fabric that allowed them to be digitally removed later. So it's kind of like green screen type thing, I guess. And yeah, so I remember that was the deal. And I remember like everyone thought it was so cool that, I mean, I don't know about everyone, but I remember it being a conversation. That like whenever they dubbed over the voices of, say, Elvis, who, by the way, Kurt Russell did the voice of Elvis. Fun fact. Okay. Anyway, whenever they did the voice of Elvis and voiced him over, and like John F. Kennedy, whenever they voice him over, and like different people like that, I remember everyone was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool that they can make it look like they're actually saying that. And it was like, have y'all never seen a kung fu movie? Like they dub over the voices and then their mouths move, but then it's something else. And anyway, okay, so yeah, I thought that was funny. So yeah, we had that conversation with the kids. It's like, this is how far we've came with technology. Like now you can do deep fakes and stuff. It's crazy. Okay, so anyway, well, that was another one. Like I said, the Kurt Russell was the voice of Elvis Presley, although he's uncredited in the film. But that's pretty darn cool. I'll find one more cool one and then get on with it. Let's see. Maybe. Okay. Got one. Okay, Greenbow, Alabama. You know, whenever he tells the weird dude that's Ginny's boyfriend or whatever, that Ginny could go back to Greenbow, Alabama. Alright, well, Greenbow, Alabama, Forrest's hometown is fictional, but Bio-La-Battery, Alabama, which is Bubba's hometown, is real. So yeah, so Bio-La-Battery is a real place. Another one is not Jodie Foster, Nicole Kidman, and Demi Moore all turned down the role for Ginny. Sally Field is only 10 years older than Tom Hanks. She plays his mom. Okay, see, there were just a bunch of crazy ones. It's wild. Okay, so anyway, I can go on and on about fun facts from Forrest Gump, I'm sure. Okay. So, the colors that I chose for the blanket. This is our project that we're doing. Like I said, we're watching family movies. Movies that we either haven't watched in a while or they haven't seen. They being the kids haven't seen. And so this is our blanket so far. Okay. So, our A movie is Abominable, Big Fish, Coal Miner's Daughter, still my favorite one so far. Oh goodness, am I gonna forget A, B, C, D, E? Oh. What did we do? Okay, Coal Miner's Daughter, Dancer, Texas, Enola Holmes. I'm already forgetting. I'm gonna have to have like a little piece of paper that says it. That's ridiculous. Okay, and then Forrest Gump, obviously. Obviously. Okay. My goodness, I'm already forgetting. Okay, so these four, like I said, this is our neutral row or in between row. These four are for Forrest Gump. You'd think we would have used forest green. We discussed it. We discussed as a family which colors to use and all of those things. So, okay, so we used red. This is the Red Heart Cherry Red, like the Super Saver, and the Cherry Red. We used the red because of Forrest's shoes whenever he runs. That's a pretty important part. He runs, just, you know, felt like running, just took off running, so he did. And so it's also sort of ish the colors of the college, although I'm not gonna represent Roll Tide. Sorry to any Bama fans out there, but anyway, so this is for his shoes. Okay. And then the white is for the feather. If you guys have ever watched it, like I said at the very first, there's a feather that comes in and lands in like the lunchbox or the suitcase or whatever, the luggage. And Forrest starts to tell his story. And at the end of the movie, spoilers to be had, the feather takes off and you watch it fly off, and that's the end of the movie. So anyway, white for feather. I've noticed that a lot of them have white, so I may have to change that up a bit. It's pretty easy to add white or black to a movie, just saying. Okay, this is for, oh, I don't know, Bubba Gump Shrimp Co., obviously, right? Obviously. And it's the color, it's Red Heart Bunches of Hugs, and the color shrimp. So, yeah, I added that one. I mean, you know? So, okay, so for shrimp. And then this one, we couldn't decide. Like everyone, the four of them all picked a color. And then my son decided this one. I think it's so sweet. Okay, so this is the big twist. I believe it's Varsity Yellow. No, it's not. It's the Varsity Gold. It looks yellow. It's not. It's Varsity Gold. And he picked it out for the Curious George book. Same kind of as the feather. Whenever he's sitting on the bench, whenever he's a little boy, Forrest has the Curious George book and he carries it with him. It's also in the suitcase. And at the end, also spoiler if you haven't seen it, I guess, Forrest has a son and his son has the same Curious George book. So these two come back into play. So, and also we can pretend like this one for the smiley face, like whenever he gets muddy and sticks his face whenever he's running, and he sticks his face on the muddy shirt and tells the guy to have a nice day. So there you go. All right, so anyway, so those are our colors for Forrest Gump, and I'm really liking it so far. It looks scrappy. If you've been here, you know how I like scrappy things. So I think it looks way cool. So, anywho. And the pattern I'm using is, I'll link below, is Jayda and Stitches. It's her chevron zigzag ripple wave blanket. It's very easy, very fun. Okay, so for our, like I said, I'll link the blanket below. If you feel froggy and you want to make a blanket, you can. Okay, so for our G movie, once again, we're watching the classics. Some of them the kids have seen, some of them they haven't, but they're all gonna be like good, like classic movies that are like, yeah. Okay, so anyway, for our G movie, we're gonna watch The Goonies. Because, I mean, what else would you watch? You know, once again, it's kind of like Forrest Gump. It's our time. It's our time down here. You know? So, we're going to watch The Goonies. And One Eye Willie and The Treasure and The Truffle Shuffle and the beauty that is that movie. So, I used to have a Goonies shirt. I could have rocked it for the movie. So, anyway. So, thank you so very much for listening and watching and staying to the end of Movie and Stitch Project and Movie F, and then the reveal of Movie G. I will be back very soon with our G movie. Just need to stitch it into the blanket. And then, yeah. So thank you guys so very much. Once again, please check out all the ladies and their wonderful, really cool, wonderful projects that they've been making. There are so many different things. Everyone's so creative in this community. It is so neat. So click on the hashtag. Thank you again to Terry and to all the ladies for letting me join. This has been so much fun. Thank you. So I hope you guys have a wonderfully blessed day, and I will talk to you soon.